If you're a CPA, accountant, bookkeeper, or other tax professional, and you are not talking to your clients about sales tax, you really need to hear about this story. So there's a lawsuit that just popped up in North Carolina a few months ago that involves a tax accounting firm that did not notify their client that they had sales tax responsibilities outside of their home state. And basically, the business alleges that even though they were not paying their accountant for sales tax advice, that there was basically a duty for them to tell them, hey, you might owe sales tax outside of your home state. And because this wasn't looked at and because they weren't notified of this by their accountants, and that the accountants should have known and should have notified them, because it's honestly like sort of negligent not to, that accounting firm is now on the hook. So I want to read something from Law 360, an excerpt from the report. The case is still actually ongoing, and we don't have a decision from the courts yet. But let me read this. An online flower bulb retailer based in North Carolina is suing its former accounting firm for allegedly failing to inform the company of a major change in tax law stemming from the U.S. Supreme Court's 2018 Wayfair decision, saying it now owes more than $2 million in sales taxes to dozens of states thanks to the oversight. Vista Horticultural Inc., which does business as Eden Brothers, cited in a complaint designated to the North Carolina Business Court on Monday that tax and accounting firm Johnson Price Sprinkle PA, JPS, never alerted it to the High Court's decision in South Dakota v. Wayfair Inc. The ruling marked a drastic change in how certain online retailers operate by requiring them to collect sales and use tax where they aren't physically located. But Eden Brothers said it remained in the dark about the change for 3 years, at which point it was faced with significant penalties for unpaid taxes. Quote, had Eden Brothers received the necessary advice from JPS after the Wayfair decision in 2018, Eden Brothers could have implemented procedures to charge taxes to out-of-state customers as part of its sales transactions, similar to what it was already doing for North Carolina customers, the complaint states. But because JPS failed to provide that advice, Eden Brothers lost the opportunity to charge sales taxes to its out-of-state customers and instead had to pay for those taxes out of pocket. At the time, JPS reportedly helped Eden Brothers implement a system to collect sales taxes in North Carolina where it had physical operations, as that was all that was required according to the complaint. But the Supreme Court's Wayfair decision changed that by allowing states to pass laws mandating that certain out-of-state sellers collect and remit taxes regardless of whether they had a physical presence there. For the next 3 years, JPS failed to inform Eden Brothers that, quote, its sales tax obligations had fundamentally changed, the lawsuit states. Eden Brothers said JPS repeatedly failed to flag the issue despite allegedly receiving monthly documents from the online retailer, quote, that should have made it apparent to any professional accountant that Eden Brothers had substantial out-of-state sales. According to the lawsuit, the new CFO, quote, went into crisis mode and hired an outside accountant to set up a system for Eden Brothers to begin collecting the necessary sales taxes. The company also applied for voluntary disclosure, but Eden Brothers was still on the hook for unpaid taxes in 39 states plus interest, which ultimately totaled more than $2 million, the complaint states. The company said it depleted its cash reserves to foot the bill. Eden Brothers first filed suit April 25th in the state's trial court division before opting to have it designated to the North Carolina Business Court. The complaint accuses JPS, which has since merged with another firm to become DMJPS, of violating the Code of Professional Conduct for the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants by failing to notify Eden Brothers about necessary changes in the law. It also asserts claims for breach of contract, professional malpractice, negligence, and breach of fiduciary duty. As a result, Eden Brothers is seeking more than $1 million in damages, a refund of the professional fees paid GPS between 2018 and 2021, as well as attorney fees and costs. So what can we learn from this? Well, it sounds like JPS was not actually providing ongoing sales tax services. It sounds like they were tasked with helping get things set up in North Carolina only, which then created some sort of expectation between the client and the accounting firm, that the accounting firm would notify them that they might owe sales tax in other states, because it is just so obvious and well known nowadays that if you're making sales outside of your home state, you really need to look at economic nexus. I don't know how the court's going to land on this, but I am going to guess that the court's going to say, yeah, because you provided some sales tax services, you do have an obligation. And if you do not explicitly state that you are not going to be providing any sort of advice at all on something, then there is sort of this duty to do the very, very bare minimum, which for JPS, that doesn't even mean doing a nexus review. It just means notifying the client that, hey, you might actually owe sales tax outside of your home state. When was the last time that you looked at this? So if you are a CPA, if you are a tax advisor, and you are not at the very least having a conversation with them at least once that you're documenting, saying, hey, are you looking at sales tax outside of your home state? We can't help you with this, but you really ought to perhaps work with someone who can. Then you're potentially setting yourself up for a lawsuit. Now, regardless of where this lawsuit ends up, it's not in a federal system, so it's not like the jurisprudence. It's not like this ruling would necessarily affect rulings in other states. So if this is happening now, it can happen again, over and over again, pretty much in every single state. So regardless of how this case turns out, whether they rule in support of the business or against the business and in support of the accounting firm, this could shake out differently in any individual state just based on their rules, laws, and past case history. But the prudential thing to do, if you're in any sort of accounting, tax, or advisory position at all with clients, is being extremely clear as to what you are and are not providing when it comes to sales tax services, and make sure that is written down. If you are in a situation where you know you have clients that are not handling sales tax correctly, and you're looking for someone who you can partner with that you know is going to do a great job, that you can form really long-lasting partnership and relationship with, our company TaxValet deals with sales tax all day, every day. This is the only thing that we do, and we partner very closely with our accounting and CPA and tax advisors. So you can check out more at thetaxvalet.com, see if we're a good fit for you, and then reach out to us to schedule an intro call. We'd love to chat with you.